Currently in Texas, 73% of 8th graders aren't even reading at grade level. 73%.
We've got a school district like Chicago that has 415,000 students, only 6% of whom make it to college.
So we're making sure that our children won't ever get into the middle class because they're not adequately prepared for college.
The reality for my kids and for the kids and all of the children in my neighborhood is that there is no school that they can go to that's not failing.
There are way too many schools that clearly are not serving our students well, and dramatic change in those schools must be demanded.
I was lucky. I grew up in suburban Chicago with 2 parents who were involved in my education, great schools, great teachers, and I find it fundamentally unfair that just because I was born to these 2 people, the kid 6 miles away from me who grew up in a poor area with the more challenging circumstances does not get the same access to opportunity that I do.
STAN reaches out to parents to make sure that they demand what they deserve and what their children deserve from our public schools.
STAN is a multifaceted organization that approaches advocacy in 3 ways. The first way is by building a constituency at the grassroots level of parents and teachers and educating them on the issue. The second way is more traditional advocacy, working with state legislatures and elected officials to draft and pass public policy that's going to be good for kids. And the third way is working at the ballot box to elect folks that really want to make the right decisions on behalf of students.
The work for me is completely personal, having been born to 2 immigrant parents who didn't have an education background at all.
For me, being a first-generation college grad, education has always been something that's been a passion of mine because I've seen firsthand the transformative power that having access to a great education can play in your life.
Every parent wants the best for their children, and so do the schools. They just don't always have the right tools to make sure that that can happen.
The focus of everything we do are the children. Parents are the most important factor in kids' education. Then after that, of course, is the teacher.
It's important that we actively engage teachers in this work. I know that personally as a former classroom teacher, just the tremendous impact that teachers can have on students every single day.
In Memphis, we're doing some really innovative things. We're doing some parent leadership training where we're helping them to understand what does an effective teacher mean, and then also how can they know that their school is doing well or not. We believe that for parents to be advocates around higher level issues, that they first need to begin to understand how is my child doing and how is my child's school.
One of the important projects we're working on in Indianapolis right now is making sure that parents have access to amazing information so they can make quality choices for their children. Indianapolis is home to a lot of different options, from traditional public schools to magnet schools to public charter schools.
STAN for Children works with Latino communities in urban areas, immigrant families, second, third generation Latino families, to make sure that they understand the power that they have. I think that we have this stereotype that parents in low-income areas do not know how politics work. But the reality is that they do understand. They just haven't, what they don't understand is that they have the power to change things.
I would like to see more parents, knowledgeable about what's going on and know that they can fight.
It's an urgent problem. Giving kids access to a high-quality public education is not just about their future, it's about the future of our communities and where we're headed as a nation.
We need parents, we need organizational leaders, we need community leaders. We need to make change on the local level, we need to make change on the state level, we need to make change on the national level. We all need to come together, we all have a say on how to build better public schools.
We need an army of people who are going to come together and say that the way that our public education system has been educating children can't be the way that it continues.
We need reform-minded educators and parents and other concerned citizens to join with STAN for Children right now to ensure that we don't lose another generation of students, because we have schools that are showing it is possible for any kid to receive an outstanding education, and that must become the norm, not the exception.